we're continuing in the pasuk, that are to you, Elu avlades. These are the vlades, the offspring. Tisa uvasa, you bring them, you bring them and you come. Yachal yachnisenu lebeis bechira. Maybe what it means is you bring them to the temple. But you let them die there. It says that you will perform the Eila, your sacrifices, the flesh and the blood, just like what you do by a sacrifice, that's what you do by Temurah. And what you do for Shlamim, that's what you do with the offspring of a Shlamim. We didn't say that by an Eila, because an Eila is a male. A Shlamim could be female, like we just learned. And with the Temurah. Yachal kol kachim kain, maybe this is by all sacrifices, even by an Asham. Talmud Marak says no, only as an exclusion. Means it doesn't apply to all sacrifices. It's excluding certain sacrifices. Div Rabbi Yishmael. Rabbi Kiva argues, he says, Ein tzarech. I don't need this rak to tell me that, because it says Asham hu. By an Asham it says, it is an Asham. And I learned from that, hu karev ein Temurah sikrev, and I know that the Temurah of an Asham isn't offered. Not like a Chatas, though. Chatas is put to death. The Temurah of an Asham, just you allow it to get a mum. Amar Mar. We learned before, we're going to discuss this brisa. Amar Mar is the way the Gemara introduces a brisa that it just taught, and it's with an elaboration on it. Amar Mar, the master said, Tiso vasa, you will bring it, Yachal yachnisenu lebeis bechira, maybe you should bring it to the temple. Minot teisi. Why would I think so? That you bring it to the temple and you just let it be put to death. Hakivan the Gamri Chamish Chatois, since we know that there's 5 chatas, and some of them are put to death. Hanach Mikrav Krevi. And these are brought, are offered. Maudatema Chamish Chatois Meses Bekol Makim. I would have thought that what's the difference between a chatas and that's put to death, and the Temurahs that are possibly also put to death. That the chatas, Hanachim the chatas is put to death anywhere, wherever your location is. But the Temurah, v'Hanachim Musa Beisa Bechira. But these are put to death in the temple. It means not offered as a sacrifice. That's what I could have thought. Kamash Malan, it comes to teach me Eily Secha Habasar V'Adam, that you have to bring it as an offering. You don't just bring it to the temple to put it to death. Because the Gemara is asking, well, where do you get such a crazy idea that you bring it to the temple and just don't offer it up? I said, well, I would have learned from a chatas that a chatas could be put to death even if it's not in the temple. And here I would say that it's put to death only in the temple. So it comes along the extra pasuk of Eily Secha Habasar V'Adam that no, it's offered as an offering.
This is the same Bais who already got Malchus for doing this?
Yeah, well, it could be that he got Malchus, or it could be that we're dealing here with Vlades, with the offspring, that we didn't know what to do with the offspring. There's no sin yet. And not only offspring of the Temurah, offspring of a regular animal.
Yeah, but maybe the Malchus. I mean, when does he get Malchus? Is it like a minute later, a month later? I mean, based in...
I don't know.
He has to go to the doctor, get evaluated, find out how much you can handle. It'll take some time.
A lot of things other exchanges could have taken place in the meantime.
Go back to that, get more.
Have a blood, I mean,
Give him the truck.
Get an exemption. Amar Mar. Yachal af kol kachem kain. Maybe all sacrifices are offered up on the altar. Even if it's Temurah, even if it's a blood. Ta'amadai marak. Rak kachecha. It says only. So, Vladaman.
Someone's at your door.
Okay. Vladaman. Whose offspring? Ida Eila. When we said that I would think that all sacrifices are the same, and that you offer all of the sacrifices, all of these sacrifices, all types of sacrifices you offer it on the altar, whether it's the blood of this one or the Temurah of this one or of that one. So which one are you trying to include? Ida Eila, if you're trying to include the offspring of an Eily, well, that's going to be difficult because Zacharhu, that's a male, V'lav bar Ludihu, and that can't give birth. So Vida Chatas, if you're trying to include a Chatas, well, that's a problem also because Gemirla Dlamisa Kaima. Gemirla means we learned Halach L'Moshe Misinai. We have a tradition of the 5 Chatas that are put to death. One of them is Vlad and one of them is Temurah. I don't need a pasuk to tell me Rak to exclude that. That I know already from Halach L'Moshe Misinai. And interesting, the Rambam explains that Halach L'Moshe Misinai means that there's no pasuk that alludes to it. That's one of the translations of Halach L'Moshe Misinai, is that I don't have a pasuk that I'm learning it out from. Otherwise, it won't be called Halach L'Moshe Misinai. He writes that in the introduction somewhere. Ida Asham, maybe it's Asham. Well, Gemirila Dilriyazla. That we also have Halach L'Moshe Misinai. That it's that the Temurah of an Asham gets a mum. We allow it to get a mum. But I thought we brought it as an Eily. No. What was brought as an Eily? An Asham that we had an extra one of. We brought as an Eily. But the Temurah of an Asham, we leave it to get a mum. That
the one that got lost in Canada.
That was an Eily. So the kol shebechatas mesa ba'asham raya. Anytime a chatas is put to death, any instance which we have 5 of them, where a chatas is put to death because we had an extra chatas somehow, we don't know we can't offer it. Either the owner died or something like that. So then, if that same scenario would be a karban asham, a guilt offering, then we let it pasture till it gets a mum. So what karban were we trying to include if it's not applicable to any of them? It says loylam bechatas. Dealing with the chatas. It's the Bais, yeah? The blood chatas. It says Be'ilchasa gemirila lemisa. The halach is that it's to be put to death. The halach l'moshe misinai. Ukra lemu'ute la krava. And the pasuk tells me that I don't bring it, that I don't offer it up. Where it says v'haba hatalia. But why do I need a pasuk to tell me that I don't offer it up if I have halach l'moshe misinai that says that I put it to death? That's dependent one on the other. If you put it to death, you don't offer it. Where it explains kivin delamisa azla. I'm sorry. Kivin delamisa azla meil lekarva. If it's being put to death, you don't offer it. Alahilchasa lechatas. The halacha is for lechatas. Akra lemu'ute tmuras asham. And the pasuk was telling me the exchange of an asham. Where it says Hanami elchasa gemirla da'amri kol shebechatas mesav asham raya. Anything that a chatas would be put to death, for example, a tmuras chatas is put to death. So a asham is pastures. Elakrami baile the avar makriv koi basei. The pasuk is coming to tell me that even though we know that you're not supposed to offer this up, it's supposed to let it pasture and get a mum. But if you do offer it up against the halacha, so not only did you violate the license say of what you're supposed to, of offering it up, but you also violated an assay of rak that excludes this. Okay. Go a drop further. Yeah, let's get to the Mishnah. Rabbi Kiva made a tzarech. Rabbi Kiva says, Rabbi Akiva was in the Brisa. He argued on Rabbi Shmuel. Rabbi Shmuel says it says rak that tells me that I don't bring an asham. Rabbi Akiva says I don't need the rak to tell me that I don't bring a Temurah asham or a vlad, a Temurah asham. Rabbi Akiva says in the psukim of asham itself, it says hu asham. It is an asham. That excludes the Temurah. Because the who tells me who asham vein tmurase who creva vein tmurase creva. Lama likra. Why do I need a pasuk to tell me that? The Gemara asks. Vahilchasa gemirila. I have a halach l'moshe misinai. What's halach l'moshe misinai? That anything that a chatas, any scenario where a chatas is put to death, the asham is pastures, which means that I don't offer it up. Gemara says, and Einachanami, it's true. Elakra lamali. So why do I need the pasuk? We need it for what Rav Huna says. Rav Huna asham shnitik l'reiyah. An asham that was meant to pasture. V'shachtei stam, and it was shechted. Oh, Shnitik means that it was separated. You took it out.
It's only two.
It's an important point.
Separated or connected? La
Separated.
Pani Takla said.
Oh. Designated.
Okay.
So designated. Designated.
No,
Is that how they translate it? Consigned. What that means, designated? Pointed out. B'shachtei stam. And then he went and he slaughtered it. So it's kosher l'shem Eily. It becomes an Eily.
It's literally to be detached.
Yeah,
Nitzach means separated. Nitzach means to pull
Attached.
apart.
So literally.
Yeah, so what's the pshat in alav hanitik le'aseh? If nitik means detached.
No, I don't think it's two times. What do you say?
Nitak means natek, means to separate. Nitak, I'm not connected.
Okay. We'll look it up. Maybe it means the opposite.
Oh, no.
Okay. So the Gemara says, nitik in, lay nitik lay. It sounds like only if you consigned it, right? Only if you designated it to pasture. But if you didn't separate it to pasture and you just slaughtered it, then it wouldn't be considered an Eily. My timer, what's the reason? Who, Babiyasa Yehei? Because the pasuk says who, and that tells me that it stays in it as an asham, as in its status. Okay, so therefore, because according to Rav Huna, the who tells me that it stays in its status, so I need the halach l'maishmi Sinai to tell me that it's nitik, that it pastures. Lahai Tana the Kayalef Mehanikroi, according to the Tana that learns it from those psukim, which is Rak Kachecha, Tepikle Mizachar Nekeva. What about, we had two brises here that taught us the same halachas. It's sort of repetitive today. Because we had one brisa that said, Zachar Nekeva tells me about the Temurah Shlamim, that it's brought, but not other ones. Rak. And then we have the next brisa that says, no, the first brisa didn't have the rak. It only had the laws of the shlamim. And the next brisa tells me rak kodshecha. It tells me also the laws that you bring the temurah and you bring the vlades. It has the same thing. So the question is, how come what does the second author of the second brisa do with the first pasuk? Why doesn't he use the first pasuk of Zachar Nekeva? It says Ahumi Baile Levlad Balimum Tmuras Balimum. So he needs that to teach me the offspring of a balmum and the Temurah of a balmum. So those are special details over there that other than the original law that you bring a Temurah, that you offer it up on the mizbeah. But typically kula mihaikra. Why doesn't he learn it all from the first pasuk? Why doesn't he need? So in other words, so excellent. So use the first pasuk of Zachar Nekeva, and you don't need Rak Kodshecha, which tells me Tmuras and Vladas. The Gemara answers Im le mashmale. He doesn't like to learn from the word im. He doesn't think it's teaching us anything. Probably im Zachar im Nekeva. Tisa v'asam ayavadle. So what does he do with the second pasuk that says that you offer it as a sacrifice? He learns afilim imirayu. That means even from their pasture, you still have to take them. And you can't say that I'm going to wait for them to pasture longer. You have to bring them up when it comes the holiday. Even if they're not pasturing, but they're stepping on they're threshing the grain. You have to take it up to. That's what you learn from there. That when the holiday comes, you have an obligation to bring it to the temple. You can't say no, it's still working, it's still eating. I'll bring it later.
Nitak is velosha nitka.
Which means fixed.